Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. Okay, what you can see right here is obviously a swarm, but there's something different about this swarm than what you see most of the time. Is that this swarm here I created myself, and I'll explain that here in a minute what I did. But what we've done, and we do this every year, we do install a small number of packages, and the reason we do it is, like I explained in past videos, like I've always said, diversity for one thing, to keep the genetics different. And then another big thing is we breed queens, so in bringing packages from another location, they have a lot of drones in these. So it helps us really early when we go to breed queens. Now, to begin with, we've bred a few so far this year, but the numbers will increase now that we have more and more drones. And we'll actually take a lot of these packages and put them in out yards about half mile to a mile away, so they will actually have more drones there as well. So either place, we have two different locations right here close to this yard that we breed queens. So we're trying to make sure that we have drones spread out about a half mile away from each location. So that helps out a lot by having that diversity and having extra drones. So let me get to what we got going on here. So what I did, and I do this anytime, and you can also do this too, if you install, say, 5, 10 packages, or even if your yard is abundantly full of bees. You know, if you have 3 or 4 or 5 extremely strong hives, you can create your own swarm artificially. And the only thing you do is, I'll try to, let me put it on pause, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this limb so I don't have to shake it, or I'll just get my ladder up. Okay, I got it resuming again. What I did, I just cut the limb off. Look how they're crawling up my hand. They think this is part of the limb. Okay, the reason I did this, I want to show it to you really close what we did. Like I said, I created a swarm, and here's what we did. I'm just going to lay this down here on the box so we can get a good view of it. Look there. Look how they accumulate on my hand. Now, I can assure you, they're not trying to sting me. They're in complete swarm mode. There's a bunch of bees that congregated. So as this kind of unravels, you'll see here what we got going on right here. This is something that I don't know if anyone has really done this before like this, but they may have, I don't know, but it works very well. Get you a mated queen. So we got one of our early mated queens that we had, and you simply just tie it onto a limb close to where a lot of your bees are flying really heavy and hard. You know, like I said, this can work when you're installing packages, or if you just have a large abundance of bees. See, they have, when I first hung her up there, I just hung her up and a couple bees went to it. This sat here overnight. So it developed into maybe a 2 to 3 pound swarm, probably. So there's our queen, our mated queen. All those bees, when you install in from packages, they all don't find their home that you shake them into. They get lost, they get confused, they don't know what to do. So what I do is I'll spread a few of these queens around. I'll have to put it on pause to unhook it. I spread a few of these queens around, and I'll show you what we do. And like I said, they don't have to be with just doing packages. You can also do this with if you have just a large abundance of queens. Now here's another thing that I did right here, and it's a good way of stocking up some of your mini mating nukes. Okay, right here's a queen right here. We've got a pretty good size colony going in here. A lot of bees. And I've done that probably 3 other spots in the yard. Let me show you another one. Right here's another one. Here's one. Basically all we do, just either put the queen to the outside. I usually put it on the outside until they start finding it really good, and then put it on the inside. And here's another one right here. You can see I never did put the queen on the inside yet. Right there she is. So here in a minute I'll take those and I'll put them inside. And I usually put a frame. Usually I'll put a frame of honey in there to get them started. And it helps boost them a lot. If you don't, just feed them good. At least put a sheet of full foundation and a starter strip would be fine, and something like that. So I'm gonna put it on pause again, and I'm gonna drop that queen in there, and then we'll resume. Okay, you can do this different ways. We always like putting our queen on the bottom like that. It's always worked actually with us. We've never had any trouble with it. As you can see on the inside, even more than what was on the outside, there's quite a bit of bees on the inside. So we definitely have at least 3 pounds, at least 3 pounds of bees in there. So we'll drop it in there like that. And let's move over here where the camera can see better. And those bees, well, you can see I was going to shake it. They don't even need it. See how they're marching right in? They're going right in the box. It's as simple as that. But remember, it doesn't have to be just when you're doing packages, because bees, they're very complex when they're outside the hive. They're not always aggressive to a queen unless it's inside their own hive. So outside, and it's how swarms develop. It's unless you're doing this many bees like we are, it's hard to see sometimes how. That's why you end up with, you'll have a big giant swarm, and you know that you didn't have a hive that could have had that many bees at that time. And then when you break it down, you find out there's several queens in there. Well, bees join up just like a mated queen. You know, when she goes out on her mating flight and she comes back and brings a bunch of bees back with her, it wasn't bees from her own colony. She brought bees back from bees out foraging around. They'll hook up and it's just instinct. Sometimes they'll leave their own colony and they'll collect with that queen. And when she comes back and they bring that mating flight back with her, she'll bring in more bees. When you make queens, you'll always see that there was more bees in there than what you started, and I've watched it happen. It's like a swarm with that mating flight when it comes back. But that's why this works. If you want to, get you a couple extra mated queens and try this, it works very well. Just hang it in a tree, or put it in somewhere on top of one of your boxes. Works very well. This is the first time I've tried it on a tree. I know it would work, but I just wanted to see the results of it. They started collecting yesterday. There's probably a softball size on it, and well, of course today there's at least 3 pounds. So quite a bit of bees got in there from yesterday. Overnight, they protected that queen overnight. It got down to probably in the 40s, and that's how you can get you some extra bees. It's just, you can create your own swarm, and it works very well. These bees are content. They got their queen. They're not aggressive. We'll see how See how they're acting? I can see them. There's some fanning. That's a sign right there. They got their queen. They're showing the colony that they got their queen. They're spreading their pheromones around. All these bees have about marched in. Let's see, just shake the rest of the limb in there. And they will go right in there. Marching right in. We'll lay it there, and we got ourselves a 2-frame Nuc. These things work good. If you never made any of these, make you some of these 2-framers. They work excellent. Well, that's about it. I wanted to share that with everybody. A lot of times, people just don't share stuff like this. And if I experiment with something and it works for me, I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to hide it from you. That's what I'm a strong believer in, sharing information. And I'm like to some of those beekeepers that don't. My question is, why don't you? I just don't get it. But I do a lot of experimenting, a lot of different things I try. Some things don't work, but when they work, I'll show you. That's about it. Don't forget, folks, we have plenty of packages, plenty of nukes for sale. Queens, beekeeping supplies, anything you need at barnyardbees.com. Don't forget, click on the little bell. You'll be notified of new up and coming videos. Like and subscribe. You'll like these gentle bees. See how mean they are? Thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.